Guys, welcome to Herbie's Reef. Today we're going to start aquascaping for the new rock that we're going to put in the large display. So we have everything laid out. We've drawn on this cardboard the inside dimensions of the tank, and then this will be our main centerpiece rock. And then we have all these other rocks and arches that will go in with it that we're going to build the sides with. And then we've got some of the Glue Master's glue, the thin glue, and we have a bunch of gloves because that glue, we learned last time, gets hot enough to burn your hands. And this is a bag of just dry sand that we're going to use with the glue to kind of cement it all together. And we're going to start aquascaping, and we will film along the way as we go. Okay guys, so we don't have any of this glued yet. We've just been messing around with the structure, and this is kind of the basic structure we're going for. And then we're going to make it in 3 sections. We're gonna have it to where this, and that are glued together. The main central arch is gonna be a separate piece. And then when we put them in the tank, we'll just stack these and put some epoxy here and over here to kind of keep them together once we're in the tank. And then we're gonna build this section over here on its own. And then we'll fill in some of the areas that look kind of thin with rubble rock and stuff. That's why we bought these extra 2 rocks over here. And we'll also fill it in with some sand and different things to make it look good. But we found a basic structure we like where the right side's taller than the left. And my artistic daughter, who is camera shy and doesn't like to be on the camera, tells me that that is an artsy thing where you don't want them symmetrical. So we're gonna do that. This side on the right will be for acros, and then we're gonna put the Ghani forest over here, and hopefully the acros will be able to go all the way up to where the Ghanis are. Okay, last time we had actually purchased just regular dry sand, and it was the special grade Carib Sea. And this time I just had this sand, and I don't even know where I got it from. I think I got it from Petco when we had a freshwater tank or something. But this stuff isn't working. We keep throwing glue on it and it's just not sticking. So we're gonna go off to Petco and hope that they have some more of the special grade stuff, and we will come back. But that does show you guys, you better be careful what sand you use. This stuff is more fine and it seems to be real dusty. Hey guys, we went ahead and let this sit overnight, and this sand did eventually dry. You can see, but when we did this last time using this kind of sand, this is the special grade Carib Sea. And when we used that, it was almost instant that it would dry. So this is still not ideal sand, but it does look like it actually formed a pretty good bond. So we're gonna go ahead and go over it though, because I don't like the way this sand looks as much. It's more of a white color, whereas this blends in with the purple a little better. We're gonna start gluing some of that. Emily's gonna pack some on there, and then we're gonna start putting the glue on it. So my main job is to hold stuff, and then Emily does the work, because I am not very artistic person. And I can't seem to even get sand on here right. Okay, so we're gonna just we put 1 layer on like that, we let it dry, and then we're gonna put another layer on until it forms, basically it will bond these 2 rocks together. And I mean, it bonds them to the point that you can lift it up by this side over here and pick it up and it won't break. Okay, so we got the first bond of these 2 rocks together, and now we're adding this arch up here. We just set it up here to where it sits on its own, and then the next step is to just pack sand in, and we haven't even put any glue on yet at all. But now she's gonna take this glue, and you can see it's just super watery, and you fill the sand with this glue and it ends up just becoming a super hard layer. And then we pack more in and do that again and layer it, and it becomes like concrete. And our hope is we can glue this arch well enough right here that we won't have to glue this connection here, because this structure is 5 feet wide. So I don't think there's any way we could do this all as one piece. So we're trying to figure out a way of doing it in 3 different pieces so that we can put it in there a piece at a time. Okay guys, so when we moved this around a little more, that sand we had used previously came apart. So since I had told y'all that it did turn out okay, I lied, it did not. So we are totally redoing this joint. Emily's packing more sand in here now, and we're hopeful. We ground off as much of that as we could get off. This glue, this stuff is fierce. I mean, it really holds well. So, but we got off what we could, and now we're gonna repiece it together, and hopefully it'll be fine after this. Okay, so we have this piece glued on, and I just wanted to show you guys just how strong this thing is. You can actually move the whole structure, and this hadn't even dried overnight. Like it hadn't even dried for an hour. And just from this joint here being glued like this, you can lift the whole thing with that one rock. So that's pretty nice setup. Once it dries overnight, it's like concrete. Okay, so this is what we have so far, and now what we're trying to zero in on are areas like these junctions where it joins together. So even though we're not going to join these 2 pieces yet, if you look, it doesn't look quite natural here without a little extra rubble rock added. So Emily's going to glue rubble rock around it, but we're not going to actually glue this piece right here to this piece, but we're going to have a place where they join so that you don't see the junction as well. And then we're going to do the same in some of the areas like this, and it just smooths it out. I don't know, once you have corals glued to the thing, if you would ever really notice, but my artistic daughter says you would, and her OCD cannot allow it to be this way. I'm just going to tape some of Emily filling in this joint here. She says this is what really makes this method come together, is going beyond just doing the sand, but taking these rubble rocks that we create. But she's taking these rocks that we chopped up with the hammer drill, and she's putting them here. And I find this to be a very tedious part that I would probably skip if I were doing it, but I would also say that if I were doing it, it'd probably look like junk when it's done. I will say that I'm extremely nervous doing this. Probably if it were just me and Emily didn't live here, I would just put SPS in the aquascape I already have, and I would have taken the arch that the gonnies are on and lowered it, or else bought a new arch for there and only redone that piece. But the thought of taking all the rock out and putting whole new rock in is scary to me, because that tank is so stable right now, and I don't have any algae, and it just is doing so well, and I'm scared I'm gonna offset all of that. But I'm hopeful that if we take our time and we cycle these rocks for a long time, I'm gonna go buy a horse trough or something from Tractor Supply, and I'm just gonna cycle them for months. I don't know, I may even do 6 months, but at least 3. And hopefully get as much bacteria on them as I can. I'm hopeful that it'll be still be really stable. And I probably won't even move the acros out of the frag tank to this, even after we put the rocks in for a while, and just let them continue to go. But my worry is that a lot of the filtration that goes to that frag tank comes from the tank we're gonna remove this rock from, because they're tied together. So I know in theory I've got biomedia back there, or in the sump, and it's, you know, well-seeded biomedia, several years. And I've got lots of, probably 100 pounds of rock in the sump, so it should be okay. But sometimes in reefing, should be and reality don't always go together. Okay guys, here's the last step of this aquascaping process. We have had this rock in this 100-gallon horse trough, which is in our workout room. And I'm sure my wife is going to enjoy the new decoration, because we're probably going to leave it here for 4 to 6 months and just let this rock get good and cycled. I put some Dr. Tim's bacteria, the one and only, and I put the ammonia in there, and it is taking forever to cycle. I'm not sure I didn't get a bad batch of ammonia, because it's been at least 2 weeks and the ammonia is still just fully, or bad batch of bacteria, not ammonia. The ammonia is definitely working. It's still showing an ammonia of 1. So it's definitely brought it down, because it was at 2 or 3 when I first put it in here, but it's not going quick. Anyway, I've got it in here with one of those 10Z pumps, and it's just got the water going around, and I'm adding bacteria frequently. Oops, sorry for my finger in the shot. Adding bacteria frequently and checking the ammonia, and then I may throw a few fish in here once it's cycled, and just let them live in here for a while and get a good, nice level of bacteria in it, and then we will get it moved to the other tank. I think that's it for this video. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to watch for our next video.